Greetings to all brothers and sisters, fratres and sorors, and friends and seekers of all kinds, whether you come in through Facebook or by word of mouth or because of membership in one of the related orders that is sponsoring this event today, namely the Egyptian Masonic Order of the Ancient and Primitive Rites of Memphis and Mizraim, who are the ones holding this event, of which I am the international representative. Within our school, we are a multi-rite school, so therefore we practice both traditional as well as esoteric rites. For that reason, whether you're a Mason or some other practitioner, or just a seeker, or just somebody who wants to help, you're going to see a lot of symbolism before you today. Now, this is not the way we set up when we do lodge. This is a lot of things represented at once for energetic impact purposes, and for the uniting of several very different egregores and systems that all have the same goal, so that we may truly unite in our intent for what we are going to perform here tonight. I want to give you a few minutes here as we wait for people coming in late to arrive, to go ahead and start to get yourself into a bit of a meditative state and make sure that you have whatever personal prayers you want to use with your own personal intent, whether it's because you have someone in your family that's sick, or whether it's a more general intent for healing. And don't forget that this is not just about COVID-19. It is very much about healing those people, but it's also about healing everyone else from the chaos that has ensued since COVID-19 or coronavirus outbreak has been so out of hand. And now that it's affecting us in such personal ways, we're all starting to take it more seriously. And it's time for those of us who are on a more spiritual and esoteric humanitarian mission to put aside our differences and unite in intent to vanquish this enemy and to restore order to the chaotic way in which our society is currently functioning. There's a very popular Masonic phrase that I won't go into full detail about, but basically it means order from chaos. And that is exactly what we are intending to achieve here with this initiative. In a moment, I'm going to begin to light the candles and the incense so that we may begin. But just briefly, I do want to say that this is the first of many. Today is the initiative to get things going and to get us all tuned in together. And today's theme is that of Ma'at, which, if you're not familiar, is an Egyptian goddess, first of all, the goddess of truth and harmony and balance, and the one who would be a part of weighing your heart at the end to see if you are pure. And beyond being a goddess, what we're focusing on more here tonight is her aspect, her divine principle, because she represents more than just a goddess. She represents the actual concept of balance, order, harmony, and justice. And this is exactly what we need. So we are using a bit of a ceremony or a hymn to her within our guided meditation. Now, with that being said, today, as I said, is just the first of what will be many. From now on, depending on everybody's schedules, we will be holding a video at the same time, Wednesday at 6 p.m., just like tonight. In some cases, it may be myself. In many cases, it may be myself. Other times, it will be other officers from the order from various parts of the world and various parts of the U.S., Europe, Africa, etc. And we may also have some guest speakers that are not directly involved. So I want you to know, and we at the EMOAPRMM want you to know and feel safe in the fact that though this is scary and it's affecting us, and that all of our lodges and orders and whatnot, where we regularly go to commune with spirit and to wish peace and happiness and upon the world and to meditate, all these places where we are used to coming together have been shut down. So in the meantime, we are committing to come to you once a week, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. There may be a week or two where we have to skip a week, but the aim is to be here for you every Wednesday. So please do keep that in mind, and I'll throw in a little reminder again at the end. And if you haven't already, if you're not watching this video from our website, please do check out EMOAPRMM.com. This is the website of both our order and the nonprofit 501c3 organization that it is attached to as its legal representative. So we do many charitable things for the community and for reaching those who seek spiritual guidance. And here today, given the circumstances that we really can't gather as we normally do, we've decided to create an outreach where we can do so online. And furthermore, we've extended it to those who are not strictly part of our order. So please then begin to get yourself prepared mentally, start to meditate. And again, as I said, make sure you have any personal prayers as given in the instructions, or any ceremonies or rituals that you may want to practice afterwards. There's going to be a section with about 5 minutes for your personal prayers in the middle. And then at the end, when we leave, that is when you will put your more personal prayers and ceremonies into it that represent your personal spiritual beliefs, whatever is closest to your heart. We want this to be very non-sectarian so that it can help everyone. So without any further ado, I will begin to illuminate the lodge in silence. And please go ahead and begin preparing yourself inwardly. By the way, we're using pure beeswax candles in the background here, not all of them, but some of them, that were bought at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Israel, in Jerusalem, as well as sacred incense, some kapet from Egypt as well, otherwise known as kaifi, as well as some myrrh, once again from Jerusalem, and actually more precisely from Jaffa, from our, it was a gift from our brothers in Italy, or rather, I'm sorry, in Israel, in the Holy Land, from one of the various gatherings that was held there by APRMM Europe and FLC, an absolutely fantastic group an order which runs the World Association of Egyptian Obediences. They, along with the Federation of Great Patriotic Masonic Powers, of which we are a proud member, are both wonderful organizations, and if anybody's interested in getting into any of these traditions, along with contacting our order at the EMOAPRMM on our website or through our Facebook page, that being the Egyptian Masonic Order, you may also reach out to any of them if they're in your area or if it interests you more, as they are all wonderful organizations. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to touch any more on specific people or anything or organizations, but if that's something that you're interested in, you may message me at the end after this ceremony is concluded, and I will discuss with you on a more personal note those very things. So, without further ado, the lodge being illuminated, we will now begin. Greetings, my dear brothers, sisters, brothers, sorors, friends, seekers of the light of all kinds, and just plain good old people who want to make a difference. I welcome you all to this, our very first installment of the Global Meditation and World Healing Initiative. One, the first of many, and in this case, a very, very needed one. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We are very happy that you could make it for tonight's Global Meditation and Healing Initiative. Our goal here is to gather a large and very diverse group of open-minded individuals, then to get us all in tune, both mentally and spiritually, through certain practices here today, meditative practices, so that we may align ourselves as one in our common intent, that being bringing peace to the world and healing to all of those who have been in any way affected by the COVID-19 virus, also known as coronavirus, the virus itself, as well as the ensuing chaos and panic that it has plunged our entire world into. For it is not just the virus that is deadly, but also the fear. There is a lot more healing that needs to take place than just that of the actual patients with the virus. For these reasons, we must set aside all of those things that we feel make us different in some way, whatever they may be, whether religion, race, color, creed, gender, culture, financial standing, your place in the social order of things, or any of the other divisionary labels that we have all become so accustomed to using and following, whether we're doing so consciously or not. And we must truly, at this time, unite with one another against whatever may threaten our human race, which is one human race, as well as our precious earth that we have all taken for granted for far too long now. Right now, there is a lot of healing that needs to take place. This is our purpose. There is a rapidly growing threat amongst us with not only the outbreak of the new coronavirus, entitled COVID-19, with new cases reported constantly and an ever-climbing death toll. But also with the breakdown of the social order and the closing of stores and companies all across the globe. Fear and panic are spreading like wildfire. This has caused many people a lot of stress and anxiety, to the point where some are already starting to legitimately lose their minds, and is very quickly leading to the shutdown, if you will, of life as we know it. Many countries are already completely on lockdown, with many more to follow. It seems as if this has come to us as humankind as a great equalizer of sorts, of all peoples, because it does not judge. This virus and the nature and natural principles that are behind it have no concept of right or wrong in the way that we do. It is a great equalizer because regardless of where somebody is from, that being their country of origin, how old they are, their status in life, what career they're in, or any other such factors, has finally arrived. Because once we are all in our homes with our families and can hardly even go out into the world, in a situation such as we currently find ourselves and our world in, with waning supplies everywhere and worried minds, as well as children being home from school, bringing families together all day long for the first time in a very long time. And a lot of questions remain in our hearts and minds, many of which we do not rightly know how to ask or are afraid to even put out there. These terms and concepts, those being, those things that divide us, such as status, gender, etc., these concepts do not hold much, if any, relevance at all when it comes down to the current situation and where it might go from here. As in one way or the other, as we all find ourselves in basically the same or similar circumstances, such things no longer truly separate us. And this makes it even more imperative that we truly unite as one and stop dividing ourselves. We are only hurting ourselves by doing so. In order that we may begin the healing process, both physically and mentally, and spiritually as well, we must unite together and as the human race, and as the protectors of our Mother Earth, our precious home that we take for granted, our dear Gaia. We take it for granted so often that we don't even ever think about what might happen in a situation like this. If we can truly unite together in thought and in prayer and in action, as well as in our common intent, we can begin to bring about the much needed healing and even more crucially, the peace of mind, of spirit, and of body that so many of us are lacking during these chaotic times. And that is the very best word for it, chaos. So, at this time, assuming that you have all of your personal materials and whatever might be necessary for your ceremony and for afterwards, if you're doing one, as well as the prayers that you're going to add in during the 5-minute meditation, please make sure those are ready. And at this point, go ahead and light your candle. If you have incense, also go ahead and light that as well, as incense is a wonderful offering and fills the room with the proper tone for us to all connect. The idea here being that we are all doing this at the same time with the same intent. And when this many people gather in such a way, its effects ripple through the world and can be very powerful. So now that you've lit your candle and any other things that you may have on your table or altar, whether it be incense, crystals, etc., that's up to you. Or simply a Bible or whatever your holy book might be, as long as you have the candle. So at this time, I'm going to ask that you sit comfortably, but with your back straight and your spine upright and completely erect. Whether you are sitting on the floor or in a chair, either one will be just fine, so long as you can see the screen and hear the audio, as well as hold a comfortable position in which to meditate. If it is not comfortable for you to sit on a floor in the traditional asana or meditation posture, it is perfectly okay to sit in a chair. Either way, please take heed to separate your hands and feet. Again, whether in a meditation posture or seated in a chair, either way, the idea is, now if you're in the asana, your legs will be crossed, but your hands will be held out separately. Now if you're sitting in a chair, you should have both feet apart, not touching, and hands on thighs. Your hands on your thighs, palms down. What this does is it helps to keep the left and right hemispheres of the brain and their respective powers and glands, etc., that they control, completely separated as much as possible and in their more natural and archetypal states. For whether you know it or not, the left and right halves of the brain are very different, one being more male and solar in aspect, and one being more female and lunar. Anyway, as we continue to unite together in this exercise and guided meditation, we should first focus our intent and our minds on inner silence. First, I want you to focus on your breath. Not change it, simply focus on it. Take heed of how you're breathing. Make sure that it's balanced and not in any way rushed or panicked. And also focus on my voice. Take deep breaths, but without long pauses between them. Whatever is most comforting and calming to your mind is best. Do not do anything that is uncomfortable just to try and breathe a certain way. Allow the waking reality around you to slowly and calmly fade away as you focus on your breathing. Now, place the candle you lit directly in front of you and begin to stare into its flame. I'd like you to focus on this flame very intently as we together vibrate the divine vowel sound Om together 3 times. I will begin. As you're staring at the flame with me, now, close your eyes and allow your mind to become quiet. Continue focusing on your breath and its repeating pattern. And then slowly relax each part of your body, one at a time, beginning with your head, eyes, nose, cheeks, ear, neck, working down to your shoulders, your back, your arms, your body, your legs. Increasingly relax these areas one at a time. And as you're doing so, pay attention that when you breathe in, you're breathing in healing light energy, and that you feel the negative energy and stress leaving you as you exhale. These are the only things that you should have in your mind right now. Do this until you are relaxed and calm, both mentally and physically. I will give you a few moments to do so. Now, begin to build up an image in your mind's eye, or in the astral, as it is known to us, as clearly as you are able, of the bright, flickering candle flame that you were focusing on before closing your eyes. See that flame and the light it puts forth in all of its original beauty and glory and beyond. Visualize this light increasingly and growing stronger as we all come together in unity for this noble and worthy cause, until it is alike unto a star burning brightly in the cosmos. This sphere of energy issues forth rays of pure white divine healing light that reach out unto the ends of the very universe itself, touching and warming everything and everyone that it comes into contact with. It grows in brilliance and intensity until it shines down upon our earth and its people like 10,000 suns. See our whole planet Earth bathed in the healing light of these cosmic rays, which reach down to it and to all of humankind, like the divine hands of Amun-Ra issuing forth from the sun, healing both people and planet as they cover its surface and envelop all in divine healing light and energy. See the people healed by this light, and see the people healed by this light and unafraid to live their lives as they are accustomed to, or to send their children to school. See them in a future that is calm, peaceful, and happy. They are calm, they are at peace, mind, body, and soul, as the divine presence fills them and their individual spheres of sensation with its energy and light. Visualize happy communities gathering in parks and playgrounds, all happily talking amongst themselves, kids playing together with no fear, no masks, and interacting with one another as they all receive the blessing of peace and of health, both in the heart and soul, as well as in the body. For all three are intricately connected, and none can be truly well unless they are all well and in balanced disposition. As I call upon the highest divine authority and cosmic consciousness itself, I ask you to unite with me in this intent to call down the healing light of the great architect of the universe, in this case, specifically represented through the image of Ma'at, that of order, balance, harmony, and justice, through the great architect of the universe, down upon the earth and its people. You should now visualize whatever to you yourself, in your heart of hearts, represents the absolute highest divine principle, and see the benevolent bestowal of pure creative energy pouring out over our world like a cup that runneth over, and spilling over into the streets and getting to everybody who needs it. I will now begin the invocation as well as a hymn and litany to Ma'at from ancient Egypt or Kemet, after which there will be a period of meditation for you to offer your personal prayers. So together with me, with eyes still closed, and with intent and focus on healing and on world peace in all its aspects, follow with me. I invoke the highest divine force within the very celestial heavens and ask that we may all be granted aid, light, and wisdom in this time of chaos in order to deliver ourselves and our world from chaos and back into order and harmony with all in balance. O great universal life force, restore to our world, our hearts and our minds, the principle of Ma'at, of order, harmony, and justice. Once again, we ask for peace of mind, peace on earth, and health in body, mind, and spirit. Amen.
Amen.
O Ma'at, Goddess 1,000 times pure, divine principle of harmony who is known by many thousands of names the world over, we seek your healing energy. Receive this hymn and litany from us. She, who is the image of Ra, Me'urt, Lady of the Meton orb, who guides the prow of the sunbark, I address you, Judge of unalterable truth and all that is eternal. The chamber is illumined by your twin lights, measure and order. I walk, following your path inscribed in the sky. I enter the hall of weighing to await your dispensation. You are woman of heaven and earth, the two duats, dispenser of the sacred word in the judgment chamber. Useket nemat, hepet shet, fenti, am, kai betu, neha hao, rerti, maati f, tes, neba, per ket, set kasu, waj nes, kerti, hedge abehu, am senef, am beseku, neb ma'at, tenemi, aati, tutuf, uamenti, ma'a anef, heri seru, kami, shet keru, nekin, ser keru, basti, kra'ef ha'ef, taret, kenemti, an hotep f, nebhau, sareki, neb abui, nefertem, temsep, ari ab-f, ahimu, utu reket, neheb nefert, neheb cow, jesertep, anaef. Thy body is holy and mighty, Lady of Kamenu. You preside in the pavilion of Jehudi. The sistrum of your head drives out evil, and all that violates the magic of your manifestations. You are the sister of Anpu, the mother of the Ma'ati. You hold the scepter that established justice for the living. Great one, Lady of letters, mistress of the house of books, keeper of all that is recorded in Amentet. You are exalted on the throne of Nut, the sky itself, knower of the divine record, dispensator of her father's words, Lady of scribes, keeper of the sacred lapis. May my words be pleasing to you, and may our united voices remain truthful in your hearing. Neb ma'at heri tep retui f, neb peti thesu menment, unut sefek a'abut, sasheda sefket Abut Me'urt Maltawi Sa Abu Jarkat Nehima Light. In the hall of Ma'at, all words are weighed, all intent is examined. The Ma'ati spirits serve truth and its manifestations. They justify those who enter. The world of the lotus flower is the region of Ma'at, where honor and order preside. Here I am renewed and justified in her light. The eye of heaven has given pronouncement. Assessed without fault is your spirit soul. Your deeds have been judged as you set upon my path. You are bathed in the celestial waters of Nun. You know the names of the Neteru. Purified of error, your name shall live and be recorded amongst the justified. O truthful one who presides over all judgments, through your gate I pass and am affirmed. Grant me a path whereon I may know you and your word, where I may be guided by Rehu Hui and his scribes to read the book of eternity. I know your seat in the sectet boat of heaven. I follow in its course daily. We will now have a 4 or 5 minute pause for meditation and for your personal prayers, which you have prepared. And if you haven't prepared any, I would like you at this time to say your own personal prayers privately within your homes and within your hearts during this time. So you may begin doing so now at the ring of this bell, and when I ring it again, you should slowly begin to bring yourself back to waking reality. this point, please slowly begin to adjust to waking reality around you, and when comfortable, slowly open your eyes and come back, at least partially, into your normal state. However, do not let go of the energy and group intent that we have built up here today. Because at this point, you may either continue to meditate upon what we have been visualizing here together, or you may continue to offer up your own prayers, or alternatively, you can conduct any rituals or ceremonies that are personal and meaningful to you on your own spiritual or cultural level and according to your own religious beliefs and practices. Those joining us today from lodges of Masonry or from other esoteric and spiritual orders may use your normal practices. Solitary practitioners may use whatever they like, and those of us who are just here to help and may not belong to a fraternity, that is perfectly fine too. Whatever works and connects with you personally will work just as well. As long as it is personally true to you, then your intent will be pure, because in your heart of hearts, you will be calling upon what is to you the highest divine principle and asking for its aid, his aid, its aid, whatever the case may be, in this situation, for both of the same reasons, being healing and peace. With this in mind, while doing so, keep the same unifying intent that we have created together here today and radiate it out into the world and into the universe, that it may be made manifest by our alliance of pure will. This many people united in a cause will have effect. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for attending the first video, being the Global Healing Meditation, Health and Peace Initiative of the Egyptian Masonic Order of the Ancient and Primitive Rites of Memphis-Mizraim, also known as EMOAPRMM. And I would also like to remind you to be here at this same channel at this same time next Wednesday, again at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, that is, 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Wednesdays. From here on out, we will be having some sort of video, whether it's a guided meditation, a discussion, a lecture, it may be in many forms, but it will always have the purpose and intent of keeping us united by our principles and by our spiritual beliefs and practices during this trying time and during this time where we are not able to gather together in our lodges as we are used to. For this reason, we must and will find another way to continue with our work. The work cannot and will not stop. Therefore, until this is better dealt with, it will be handled online and through distance education. Once everything is deemed safe again, normal activity will resume. But until then, we at the EMOAPRMM have come up with several initiatives to help to reach out in the meantime. This being one, and another to be announced very soon. I thank you all again for coming, and I'd like to say, be safe, be well, be good to each other, and let us remain unified and strong in the light, together as one human family. with peace, love, light, and abundance to you all. Sincerely and fraternally, Brother Luke Allen Bubeck.